I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about AppCommunity, which is our brand new BuddyPress integration. It is it turned out so great. I think you guys are going to love it, and I'm excited to tell you more about it today. So what it is a new social component that you can add to your apps. It adds activity posting, similar to Instagram. You have instant message, kind of text message style, private messaging between users. People can friend each other and send messages. You can, show a list of members, a list of groups. People can join groups, post in groups. You can get notifications, things like that. So it is an integration with the BuddyPress plugin, which if you're not familiar with it, it's kind of like a Facebook in a box. And we do have an existing integration called AppBuddy with BuddyPress, but this is a brand new approach to that. So the big difference is it's all API based, which means that it's much faster and it's a much better experience for your app users. So with AppBuddy, we were actually showing your website pages in the app, which was very customizable and it works, but it's much slower and it's a little clunkier. So with AppCommunity, we really took the approach of just designing the best interface possible and making it as fast as possible for you to be able to integrate this into your apps. And it integrates with BuddyPress, so all the users in BuddyPress that are on your site are going to be able to log into the app and do the same type of things that they would do on your BuddyPress site. There are some pretty significant differences, which I will go over in a little bit. Mainly because this is an API-based approach, it is going to be more difficult to customize it. So I want you guys to think of this not as a clone of your BuddyPress website with all of your customizations and custom plugins and everything like that. This is kind of a standalone social component for your AppPresser apps. And even though it's less customizable, I think that the trade-offs are well worth it because it is much, much faster and it is just so easy and fun to use. I think your app users are going to love it. And even if your whole site is not based around BuddyPress, you can still just add maybe one of the components. So if you just want people to be able to private message between each other as maybe kind of an add-on for your community, you could just add that single component into your app and then have the rest of your app with the other AppPresser features like your blog posts, maybe your membership pages, things like that. So there are a couple other changes that we made that are awesome, which are not specifically related to AppCommunity, but the login, registration, and password reset are now all API based, and they're much smoother and a much better experience for your users. So when people come to your app and they want to sign up or log in, it's going to be a much simpler experience for them. And even if they have problems registering or resetting their password, things like that, is a much better experience now for your users. Excuse me. So I want to show this to you. Like I mentioned, customization is a little bit more difficult, but it is possible. I'm going to show you how you would do that. So let's just take a look real quick at how we actually set this up. So AppCommunity is available for the agency plans in AppPresser. So when you have when you're building your app here in your app dashboard, this is I have kind of a sample app here. I'm going to go through adding all the pages with you, but this is kind of just a demo of the activity page. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to log into your WordPress admin, and you need the plugins installed. So you need the AppPresser core plugin, obviously. You need the AppCommunity plugin installed and activated. Now, currently there are not any options for the AppCommunity plugin. It just has a license key that you can add for automatic updates. In the future, there may be some options, but right now there's nothing that you need to configure. So what this is going to do is add a BuddyPress REST API to your site. It is a fork of the existing BuddyPress REST API, but since at the time of this recording, the BuddyPress REST API is far from complete, we did actually, complete it for our purposes and create a fork of that, and that's basically what the AppCommunity plugin is. So you do also want AppBuddy activated at this time to get the push notification functionality. In the future, we may allow you to do that without AppBuddy active. But at this time, you do need AppBuddy active if you want to have the push notification functionality. So then the other important thing to make sure you do is you obviously have the BuddyPress plugin active. If you go to Settings, BuddyPress, you'll see that there are a variety of components here. So for example, private messaging, friend connections, activity streams, notifications, user groups. These are all things that you can integrate into AppCommunity. But if you have these turned off, for instance, if private messaging is turned off, then you will not be able to access that in the app. Even if you add, for example, the messages page in your app, it's not going to work. So make sure that you go to this settings page and you have the components active that you're going to be putting in the app. Okay, so once that's done, then I can go over to my app builder and I can start creating my pages. So it's actually very, very simple to add these pages to your app. You're going to go to custom pages. You're going to go to add new page. And then you're going to click on where it says App Community. So I already added an activity page. Now let's add a members list. So if I want to add the members component, all I do is click on choose component, members. This interface here may change. We may add some options and other things, but for now, this is all you need to do is choose the component and add it. And I'm going to go do the same thing for my other components. So that's going to be groups and profile. And I'm actually not going to add the messages component just yet because I want to show you how that works first. So once I do that, then I just need to go into my menu. The menu I have for this set for this app is a, if you go to the settings, you can see which menu you have set. So here I have my tab menu is called App Community. So I'm going to go under menus and I'm going to choose App Community. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the pages that I just created. So the easiest way to do this is just to search for the pages I created. So I had a members page, I had a groups page, I had a profile page. Okay, and I'm also going to want some icons for these. So members, I'm going to put people. Groups, I'm going to call this apps. And again, these are on icons. You can look this up in our documentation, how to find these, and person. So some of these pages, or actually all of these pages will require a login to have and do any actions. So one of the things that you're going to want to add for a profile page is the logged in class. And that means it's not going to show in the menu unless they're logged in. So excuse me, one more item that I definitely want to add is going to be the login link. So to do that, I'm going to add a custom link, and it's going to say login. And then in extra classes, I want it to be logged out. And this is also login modal. And what that's going to do is allow me to click on it and display the login modal. So if I'm logged out, I can always log in. So we'll click on that. And that's going to show the login modal. So here we have the activities page, the members, the groups, and you can click into these and see them. But if you try to complete any actions like join group or look at a member profile or post activity, it's going to tell you to log in. So then once we're in the login modal here, we do have the new system of logging in so that you can actually log in through the preview now, whereas that wasn't possible before. Before I do that, I want to show you real quick how cool the sign up and forgot password is. If you click on sign up, it has this just beautiful little form that's very easy to use. And then once you submit it, you're going to see this. You're going to enter the verification code that's emailed to you, submit that, and then it's going to automatically register users on your WordPress site and then log them in. So it's a very, very smooth, easy process. Allows people to register for free on your site. It just adds them as a subscriber, and then obviously that will allow them to use BuddyPress. And then we also have a very nice password reset code here. You enter your email, it's going to send you a retrieval code, which you enter here on the app modal works really, really well. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. I have an existing user, obviously, on my account. So once I log in, you're going to see a couple of things. So we have the activity feed, and now we can do things like posting an update. We can add, we can post images, and it's kind of like this Instagram style timeline, which I really, really like. Turned out great. You can also, go into someone's existing post, and there's some comments here. And if we click reply, we can add our own comment. We can also flag the activity, which is a requirement for Apple Review. So that's why that is there built in. You do need that in your app. You also will need for Apple Review the ability to block members. And there is a plugin which you can find in our documentation that will help you to do that. So one thing we do with the activity feed here is we can actually sort it. So if I click on me, it's going to be only the stuff that I've posted. I can click on friends, and this will show only the people who are my friends and what they posted. And then obviously we have mentions, which is when people @mention you. So we also have the ability to, on the members profile, we can search for a member. So if we want to find a certain person, and there's a lot of users on the site, that's very, very helpful. We can also search in activity and in groups, and also filter groups by, if I want to only see my groups, then I can display those here. To post into a group, so we can click on the group page, and we see some of the information here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that it has a better layout. And you'll see that we have some information about the group, and then we can go and see the group activity. And in the group activity, we can then post a message to the group, which is going to appear in the group activity feed there. You might be noticing kind of how fast and smooth this is, compared to our AppBuddy integration, and it's just a real pleasure to use, and your community is really going to love it. So another thing that you'll notice up here is I have a notifications bell. So when I have notifications, they're going to show in a list, and it'll show me how many replies I have, messages I have, friend requests, things like that. And if I click on view, I can go to the specific component. So for example, for here we have messages. So messages is one of my favorite components, and I really am excited to show you guys this because it's it takes BuddyPress messaging to a whole new level by allowing you to message kind of like text messaging on your phone. Makes it much, much faster and much, much more easy use. So if I click into one of these threads here, first of all, you can show your inbox or your sent messages, just like you can in BuddyPress. And then these are all threads. So if I click into one of the threads, you're going to see that I have this sort of text message style layout and text message style messages. So if I post a message, I click send, you're going to see that it posts very quickly, and it is this kind of text message style. It also sends notifications. So if you have push notifications enabled through our AppPush plugin and AppBuddy, then you will actually get a push notification that says that you have a new message, and then you can kind of go in here and reply. You can also send new messages. So if you were to click into here, and you can see a list of your friends, and then if you wanted to send a message to one of your friends, you can go ahead and do that through here, and then that new message thread will appear. So here you have kind of like a text message style layout, and then it will appear actually in your sent messages. You go to sent, see those, boom, there it is. So this is a really, really cool feature, and I really think that even if your community is not fully entrenched in BuddyPress, but maybe you just want to allow users of your site to communicate with each other, this is a super cool way to just kind of add maybe even just this messaging component to your app using AppCommunity, and because it works really, really great. So you can, if you have these notifications here, you can press clear and come out of there, and that works great. Another thing we can do is view people's profiles. So if I were to view my profile page, I have a cover image, I have a login, log out button up in the top right. I have, I can visit my messages, my notifications, this view, and my last update here. So if I were to click view full profile, that is going to actually send me to the website. So the reason why we're doing that is because we don't actually have 100% of the BuddyPress functionality baked into AppCommunity just yet. We are going to work on getting a lot of the components in there, but anything that's not there, maybe you have a custom plugin, adding something, you can just link out to the site and then it will display the profile there. So I'll go ahead and click on that. This is going to pop up in a small window, an in-app browser. So for example, if you needed to get to something that we don't have, like the settings, where you can change your email, your profile visibility capabilities, things like that, or blocking people, which is a custom plugin, then that's what those links are for. So we do also have some hooks that you can add information here if you like. For example, if you have like a dating site and you need to add some profile fields on this, we do have some hooks where you can add that information. So if I were to click on someone else's profile and then I were to click on message, then I can actually send them a message and start a new thread with them. I can also click to add friend. So that will actually send them a friend request. In the activity, I can click the thumbs up on this activity and it will add another like on that. So that is most of the AppCommunity integration. We are planning on adding more features to it. So one thing I wanted to address is customization. Let's say that you wanted to customize something that's going on here. Since this is all through the API, you're going to be using API-based template hooks. And so what you're going to be doing is filtering the information that we get from the API. And this is a little bit more geared towards developers, but for example, here's an activity, here's a sample filter. So if you wanted to change the response when you went to go get the activity items, let's say, for example, you had some permissions or some user roles or something, and some people aren't allowed to see certain things, then what you would do is write a filter for AppCommunity activity get items. And then what you can do is you grab their user ID, and then you can do whatever you want here. For example, you can change some of the arguments and for the BP activity get function, or you could look up the user ID, see if they're allowed to see certain things, and then only change the arguments or only return certain things. We also do have action hooks that are in the API requests. And then we also are using template hooks if you wanted to add information to the page. So as you can see, the customization is a little bit more esoteric. And so if you wanted to do something like add a custom plugin, that's not really going to be possible. So if you're using some plugin that kind of allows some type of video uploads or something like that, that type of thing is not going to be possible in the app without a developer kind of building that in for you. So that is the basics of AppCommunity. We do have a post. If you go to AppPresser.com /introducing-AppCommunity, you can read more about it. The other thing is definitely check out our Press Chat app. So if you want to see how this stuff all works, live in your hands for iOS or Android, check that out. That is on the post. You can look it up in the app stores. It is just called Press Chat. You can download that, sign up, post the activity feed and things like that, and see how it all works. As far as our future plans, we are going to try to add customization options. However, this is never going to be a one-to-one clone of your BuddyPress website in the app. This is more just a really fast social component to allow your users to communicate with each other and post activity and messages and things like that. If you have a very customized BuddyPress website and you need that in your app, you may still need to use our other BuddyPress integration, which is AppBuddy. And just remember, AppBuddy is not quite as slick and fast, but it is much more customizable if that's a deal breaker for you. So that about wraps this up. I'm going to just check in the comments real quick to see if anybody had any questions. And let's see. So does this share between your site and the app using BuddyPress? Yes, it does. So all of the data that the app is using is coming from your website in BuddyPress. And so like if someone were to post an activity, activity post, that will show up in the app and on the website, things like that. When will block be in the app view? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Maybe shoot us an email. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.